Hey everyone, how's it going? Cell here. It's about, third day of the league now, and I thought I would go over my build I've been playing and league started with. Forewarning, there's a bit of flashing. It's kind of mild with the specters I'm using, but if that bothers you, might not be the greatest video to watch, so apologies for that. Anyways, so I've been playing K's Minion army build, and pretty famous build, I would say. Kay is known to do a lot of various minion builds, and that's kind of the thing she's known for. So I was back and forth between a few things I wanted to league start as, and I had never played a summoner before, and summoner honestly seemed like a great choice given the changes that came this patch to flasks and difficulty adjustments overall, and I have been extremely pleased with the choice personally. The nature of being a summoner means you're taking a lot of life because there aren't a ton of damage passives you need. You're using a lot of different skills, which is a good way to get more damage, and as GGD said in their manifesto and all that, the skills that got hit the hardest, or the setups that got hit the hardest, are the ones in which you're using more links. Because obviously you want to use the best links as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, minus a utility link, for example. But beyond that, you're going to have more difficulty getting the same level of damage as before because the supports aren't nearly as good. So being a summoner, in the footage right now, I've got a 5-link Spectre and 4-link Skeleton/Fall Skeletons, and yeah, that's just been working out quite well. I have 1 death up to this point. I'm level 82 currently. Died at the very beginning of level 81 because I was setting up one of the expedition encounters, and a random betrayal encounter spawned, the intervention. I didn't force it into the map or anything. It was a random encounter, and the map had damage is cold, and I was slightly undercapped on cold resist. In fact, I'm still slightly undercapped because I forgot to craft in the 3 times I've thought about it since then. And yeah, wasn't paying attention, got smacked for my entire health plus energy shield, so 6.3k or whatever. And okay, I don't really know why the video is lagging out. Sorry about that. I've had some weird stuttering with my recordings going on lately. Anyways, yeah, I would say the single target is probably the thing I'm enjoying most about the build. So you can see here I'm in a decent pack of enemies and it's not going super well. And that same thing goes for the expedition encounters. Once you have enough density there, it gets a little difficult to manage, in that there's just a lot of stuff. It doesn't become significantly more dangerous or anything like that, just a little bit more time consuming. That being said, once you get one boss, a single entity, into an open enough area or a corner or whatever else, and you have your skeletons and false skeletons plus your specters aiming on them, yeah, it adds up. And like I alluded to earlier, the multiple skills and multiple button builds tend to squeeze out a lot more damage, so this build is more manual, but I haven't minded it personally. There's enough downtime between actions. It's right now, apart from summoning things, I can just go around and loot while things are happening and pay close attention to my ailments and health and all that, which is also nice with the ailment and flask changes. So between all that, I haven't felt too fatigued by the amount of buttons I've been pressing. About the ailment changes, they haven't been a super big deal. Part of the reason for that is the high life pool, ailment threshold is based on the amount of life you have, and as a summoner, I'm at 5.6k life. Some of my gear still has little to no life on it, and so there's still some big improvements to be made there, plus I still have a lot of life passives I can pick up as well. In Kay's example / guide video, she had 8k in her endgame setup, so I could easily see myself reaching 6.5 to 7 something thousand HP, which helps with ailments. Yeah, other than that though, I've been frozen one time that I remember. I get chilled quite often, and shocked a decent amount of times as well. Ignite isn't a big deal. I've got high life pool and good regen. Corrupted blood hasn't been a huge problem for me. Same with bleeding. Poison though, enough poison stacks definitely gets me. I've had one really close call with poison, which might have been in my last video that I posted actually. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I've got to say about it now. Let's hop in game and show a little bit more. So here we are in game. Show you a little bit about my gear. I actually have more life on gear than I remembered. That's a ring with high life. Belt is pretty bad on life, could have a lot more there. Boots pretty high. This ring is somewhat low, especially compared to this one. Plenty of life here, 70 something. 47 life here, and while I remember, this needs to have some cold resistance on it. And cold and chaos is fine. Yeah, so pretty much just following Kay's guide, for the most part at least. I have a few differences. I kind of, after I got the Frost Auto Scouts, or really after I got Slave Drivers in Act 5 for Spectres, I kind of just did my own thing from there and then referenced back whenever I needed a new link or anything like that, and then I picked up Frost Auto Scouts, I think just before I got into maps, or maybe right after I got into maps. Still using GMP. I've done all my bosses with like GMP and such, so I'm sure swapping that for Hypothermia would improve my single target quite a bit as well. Pretty solid chest here that I got from the League mechanic actually with ROG. This started as a chest with 70 something life, 30 something strength, and 30 something lightning resistance. And between like adding prefixes and suffix, then I got a couple of upgrade 5 or 3 mods by one tier, and that boosted everything to the level it's at now. So pretty solid chest for my purposes right now. 5 link, I linked it through Harvest, which I have a couple more of as well, so I've set an item to 5 sockets. And then I have 3 5-link recipes here. I don't know if I'm getting lucky on those, or if I've just been picking them more, and so getting them more because of that, the link modifier choices at least. Yeah, apart from that, nothing of too much note. Didn't get my Vol Summon Skeletons until a couple levels ago, when I finally Vol'd one of my Summon Skeleton gems, and that has been pretty solid for single target. I also use it for the expedition encounters because there's just so much going on that every bit helps anyways. Got a half decent convoking one here. The mana regen helps a little bit. I don't have any sort of mana problems right now. 77 mana regen without clarity. Just realized how much mana I have. 1500 is kind of insane. But I do have a couple of like mana regen passives here. Got the mana from here and here, I guess. So right, I forgot there's mana regen on this thing as well. Speaking of block, I'm at 3121 right now. That'll go up quite a bit when I get Mistress of Sacrifice. It'll go up by 17-ish in each, once I can use my Bone Offering on myself. I have 3 out of 6 trials, and I've seen 4 trials so far. Yeah, Boot Enchantment, also nice. People have been definitely exacerbating or exaggerating the mana problems. Using a mana flask as like a temporary fix, not a huge deal in my opinion. And then ultimately, their goal with that is you need to actually invest in mana regen. And so like I have quite a bit of it on gear here, so I haven't been particularly struggling with that. Plus, as a summoner, you don't have to constantly spam your skills, which is nice as well. So overall, I'd just really recommend this build for anyone starting the league a little late. As for Flask, I've gotten a couple of the Instilling Orbs and some Enkindling. I actually don't mind the Enkindling effect on this Silver Flask. Increased charge recovery, but doesn't gain charges during effect. And I've got an unimportant immunity in burning on it. I'm running an Aquamarine Flask. I was running 2 Seething Divine Flasks. I have another one in there for chill and freeze immunity. I decided to go with this because I ended up landing the frozen trigger on it with my first Instilling Orb. Yeah, those orbs are pretty common, which is nice. Common enough that I don't think it'll be a problem refining my flasks going forward with the actual mods that I want. Apart from that, progression-wise, I'd say again it was pretty smooth. Anytime it started to dip off, or started to feel like it was dropping off, rather, when I was still on a 4-link, it felt like it was beginning to drop off a little, and then I got a 5th link, and then went a little bit further, started feeling like it was dropping off a little bit, and then I got my Spectre to level 20 total here, which gives you a 3rd Spectre instead of 2, so again, more damage there. Then eventually, 6th link is another big upgrade for Spectres, and in addition to that, you can delve for a chest that has +1 Spectre on it, so I've been doing delve whenever I can, which has only been like a meter full right now. Gonna focus on that more in the near future, I think, because it would be nice to pick up a +1 Spectre chest to help make the leveling that much more smooth. Yeah, and then maybe in the far future, plus minion level / minion damage helmet for these skeletons would be nice as well. Zombies and Golem not providing too much other than defenses, and the elemental army is going to make them inflict cold exposure, which the frost auto sentries deal cold damage, and primarily or solely, and everything else deals at least a little bit of cold damage because of hatred. They're gaining Fizz's cold, hatred, generosity, of course. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it, though. So, I've been enjoying the league. I think it's pretty good. Haven't noticed too much on the damage front. Maybe I will when I try a more experimental build, but we'll see about that in the future. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and please consider subscribing or leave me a comment. See you around. Peace.